What is up, guys? It's Tremagowan here from underneath the Willow tree, and today I'm joined with Random Citizen number 1.
What's up?
And Dylan Prokopy.
Hey.
Today we're going to be discussing conspiracy theories. First of all, we're going to go on to the theory of flat Earth.
Fucking stupid.
Can't debate that. So the flat Earth is 200 members strong as of 2016. So there's 200 people out there that believe the Earth is flat. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I thought there were a lot more stupid people in the world.
True. Now, they believe the Earth is flat and it's like constantly moving up. It's not in a stationary position. And they don't believe in gravity either. And they believe that the edges of the Earth is guarded by NASA, by a giant wall of black ice.
NASA would need a large amount of funding to do that.
Well, they do. They get a couple of $1 billion of funding every year.
But not as much as they were getting.
Yeah, true.
They have been cut on funding. I don't know, it just seems very implausible that with the amount of manpower needed to maintain such a wall and the amount of money needed to maintain such a wall that no one would have noticed by now.
Also, you need the whole world in on it, pretty much.
Which is the same as the moon landings. Too many people worked on it. Too many people did things that were actual functions that were performed. It just seems implausible for it to be faked.
Well, there's like a lot of stuff that goes into NASA, pretty much. That when the space race came around, that when the Russians and America sent their rockets up into Earth's orbit, they realized that they kind of screwed up with saying the Earth is round. And that's why NASA became a thing.
But don't you think the Russians would have done the same thing? And if the Russians and the Americans, in their perpetual state of proxy war against each other, would they really have agreed on such a topic just to keep it from the public?
No.
A human's vanity would override that. And that's all the Cold War was. It was vanity. It was a dick measuring contest.
Well, at the end of the day, the whole thing of the government is to control the population. So by doing something like that, keeping that quiet is essentially controlling what we believe at the end of the day. So it is plausible that they could have just made a treaty to keep that shit quiet.
I don't think so at the time, dude. Egos were flying too high. We were on the verge of nuclear war. We were on the verge of total annihilation. I really don't think that would have been something as relevant as the rest of the things going on.
Well, it's a very weird topic. There's a lot of stupid shit, like gravity apparently isn't a real thing. They believe in universal acceleration, so the Earth is constantly moving upwards and it's not in a stationary position. From that, the force coming down is what is keeping us grounded and not allowing us to fly off this disk that we're apparently living on.
Are these the same kind of people that sail around in wooden boats talking about the Kraken?
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, even back in history, like even in history, like all this old societies.
That was my point.
Yeah, they all believed in that. Yeah, but like you said, it's in old times, right? Like 1,000 years ago. But also, they believe the moon is flat as well. Apparently, that it's
so
fake.
everything's in 2D basically.
Yeah. It just spins in circles above us, while we're flat down here.
No, I think
that's
these
why
guys
we
will
need
stop
to see
playing
that,
on fucking Nintendo and shit.
But that's why we don't see the dark side of the moon. That's
we only see one face of it.
Yeah, that's their theory
No matter
behind
what
it.
you
The
are,
reason we don't see it is because it's flat. It's just a disc floating above us. That's what that is.
Well, as long as it makes them feel fulfilled, go for it, bro.
Most of the other planets, you said that it's light.
Yeah, they believe that it's not a physical surface that you can land on. It's a beam of light.
What's this?
The other planets in our solar system.
Like just
Mars,
giant
Venus.
fucking light bulbs.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's all that is. It's just
Very convincing, bro.
Yeah. It's literally like the Truman Show, pretty much.
And NASA will show you this beautiful CGI, creation of what planets look like. But if you look at it through a telescope, it's a light. So that's why
NASA
they
is not the only one that has control over telescopes that are capable of seeing into space. Don't you think other companies would have mentioned something by now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't Elon Musk and Tesla, they're pretty much overtaking NASA.
Yeah, they've got that whole SpaceX program when they launched that.
Yeah, you're trying to.
And I mean, in this day and
Mars.
age, there's no need for conspiracy theories.
Nah.
Well, there's too much stuff that's kept quiet from the public for people, that's the reason they have conspiracy theories.
But what has a conspiracy theory ever actually solved?
Well, there's been a couple of conspiracy theories that have been proven to be real.
Yes, but what was done about that? It didn't change anything.
Yeah, well, it just made someone feel good about themselves that they were right.
Exactly.
That's all that this is. It's just pretty much
There's a lot more between
chase.
relationships and conspiracy theories than you think, as you just mentioned, bro. There's a link there.
Yeah. Well, there's another conspiracy within itself right there. So it's just anything to question, and I think that's just what we are as a species. We keep just questioning. We don't feel happy with the answers we receive. There's just too much to question and ask about that we don't understand. But the flat Earth, a lot of it is not plausible. A lot of it is just really stupid. Because even one of the diagrams they give for the sun, when it's moving, like how it spins around the Earth, how they depict it, there would still be a specific point on the Earth that would be constantly sunny. That, even though if it works off shadows, what's at the center of it would always be sunny. There will always be sunlight, and there's no place on Earth that never experiences darkness.
Yeah.
Which is just, I don't understand how they, and it apparently moves according to the seasons. Like it gets closer, the circle widens as the seasons go, and it gets smaller. So that's why in winter the sun is out for a short amount of time. Pretty much what science has already told us. But it's just
they're just trying to work their way around something that is proven as fact to give the what's the word substance to their own theory. Sorry, my brain went a bit fuzzy.
But it's like their thing with the universal acceleration. The theory behind it is exactly the same as the theory of gravity, down to the maths. But they don't believe in gravity, even though they've proven gravity themselves and just given it a different name.
But that's what I'm saying. That is what I just said.
Yeah.
They're taking what is already known, they're twisting it around to make it seem like something new, to make themselves look like they're right.
Yeah, well, they just look like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Pretty much.
But there's
It's
a lot
desperation. They're clinging to fact, hoping they can pull something out of it to add to their own theory to make it seem more plausible.
Yeah, the Flat Earth Society itself, the one that we currently know today, has only been around since the 1940s. And to what they believe at the current time is not what was believed back 1,000, 2,000 years ago. That it was the South Americans that believed that the Earth was on a giant fucking tortoise floating through space. And the North mythology believes that we're just a plate in the middle of a giant ass ocean. So there's just a whole bunch of theories behind a flat Earth.
I suppose if you look at it that way throughout history, a lot of different cultures that sort of had the same idea. But I mean, it's evolution, bro, like I said. I mean, we gain more knowledge over the years, we change as people, ideas change.
Yeah. Well, we can't stay the same. It's human, like you said, evolution. We get smarter and that type of stuff. But you still get those people that are apparently our equivalent. They're equal to us, but yet they still believe in these type of things, which can't really be broken down to evolution. It can just be broken down to their standpoint in society.
Or where they want their standpoint in society to be.
You get obviously you get lower class, middle class, high class, and that type of things. Each person in that class are a little bit more. You can manipulate them more dependent on their stand. So if you target a certain market or a certain demographic, you can obviously get certain people to believe in whatever you say. You can say
people
Charles
who are
Manson.
fragile to those things that you're trying to preach to them. Obviously, it will be easier to lure that demographic into there.
Well, it's Charles Manson.
This is starting to sound very much like a cult. This whole flat Earth thing,
it kind of is.
Theory thing.
It honestly kind of is. Yeah, it is an exclusive thing, and it's the same as the Scientology. It's also just a glorified cult. It's just a big ass cult that you have to be able to join somehow. I don't really know how you join them, but like I was saying, with this whole thing sounding like a cult and that. And also manipulating people, you can kind of bring it down to Charles Manson. How he just got a bunch of people to kill for him by manipulating them. This is technically what it is. It's just a bunch of people being manipulated to believe in old facts.
But what is the motivation for the manipulation of the people? I mean, besides to gain a following, what are you going to do once you have this following?
Well,
try and prove that it's correct, which
why.
isn't working out.
I don't think they would
Manson
say
had
why,
motivation. He had a reason to create what he did.
Yeah. But I think like with this, they won't say what their motivation behind it is because
they were just bored and that's what they thought up.
I would assume so, yeah. It's just something that really does not have any relevance in today, that they were probably just feeling lonely and bored.
Because everybody's looking for that one thing that's going to make them a bit better than the person next to them. It's just human nature. And I think that's all this is.
The thing is also, like, this flat earth thing has a couple of celebrities behind it. You know, people that have a lot of influence.
Just because they're celebrities doesn't mean they know any better than you.
No, it's not saying they're knowing any better. They're getting celebrities on board, and being a celebrity, you do have a certain, like, control around people.
Control over people.
Yeah. Certain people are going to be like a die-hard fan and listen to whatever that celebrity ever says. You know, they could come out and be like, oh, I believe the earth is flat, and they're like, okay, so do I now. So getting people on from like a higher class, people that are famous and have a good following into a society like this, comes with a lot more followers. I'm not too sure if to join on there, maybe you have to pay a fee or something. That could just be a goal just to make money.
Could be.
It's not necessarily just a thing to prove a point. It could just be a big scam for someone to make money.
Like
could be. I know they give you a certificate for joining them.
Yes. Why would I join a society just to get a certificate? I could print that certificate off Google if I really wanted to. It's really stupid. It's unnecessary. Oh, I'm a flat earther. Like, okay, dude, who cares? It's stupid. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
You're still talking about what you need to do to get into this society of the flat earth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, it's an induction just like any other belief system.
Well, like
you have to be baptized in Catholicism. I mean, there's that other thing that Jews do.
Well, like this, in Scientology, you have to pay to join. There's a membership fee to join Scientology. That's where I came down with the Flat Earth Society. There could be a chance you have to pay to join them, and they just, like I said, it's just a big scheme. It's just a big thing to make money and get rich quick. Where other societies and cults and all that type of stuff, it's pretty much, I believe the same thing as you, and okay, join. You know, I don't really understand how you join it, but like I say, I believe the earth is flat, and then what? You know, it's really stupid, it's pointless in my opinion.
Sort of insane.
Okay, so we're going to get on to the topic of Area 51. Area 51 is obviously a military base in the Nevada desert in the north of Las Vegas. It's been the topic of a lot of like alien interactions, you know, UFOs, and where apparently aliens are being held.
Yeah, like I said, so many other bases around the US that have the same amount of security clearance.
Well, it's a military base. Of course, there's going to be security.
Yeah, but I mean, is the extent really that much further than the rest?
I wouldn't know, to be honest. I don't know much about military bases. But, like, it's a big topic because, obviously...
Okay, your opinion, what do you think is happening in Area 51?
I don't know if it's still happening, but, like, there's aliens. I think it's kind of like a Men in Black type of situation, that we have contact with other alien species.
Because that whole Men in Black thing, I'm not sure if I'm thinking of the right one here, but there's that theory of the Majestic 12.
Yeah.
Every time people have a sort of close encounter experience, either of the first, second, or third kind, they are always visited by men in black suits with black hats that are very intimidating and aggressive.
Wow.
Yeah, they apparently don't have eyebrows or any facial hair or any of that shit. It's just a plain white face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like, why I think it's that way, because I don't believe we're the only people, like, only intelligent species in the universe. And if we weren't, I think we would have either been attacked by now or at least visited in some way.
Or we should adopt the same state of mind that whatever's out there has, if there is anything out there, and that's, who gives a fuck? They're there, let's just leave it, bro.
Yeah, but like you said, as humans, and most of us aren't like that. We constantly question. We want to expand. We want to see what else is out there.
And look at the state of the world today.
Exactly. Yeah, we're stupid. We're not as intelligent as we think we are. We kind of just put ourselves first, and it's pretty much just fuck everyone else. But like the thing with aliens, there's been too many like encounters. A lot of like so many sightings, especially not too sure where it was. Phoenix, the Phoenix lights. That there was like over 50,000 people that saw these lights in the sky at that time, and then a military base nearby says, "Oh, it was a test with the planes," but they stayed in one place. They hovered, and this was like in the 70s. But so all of a sudden, like, okay, you have an excuse, you have an answer, but then when they like try to replicate what they saw, it was completely different to what 50,000 people saw. You can't tell me 50,000 people are just lying.
No, definitely. And it's that situation with the Battle of Los Angeles as well. I mean, there were a vast amount of people that witnessed that, and I mean, they saw shapes of things. You know the story, the Battle of Los Angeles.
No, I actually don't.
It was during World War II. I think it was between 1942 and 1944.
Yeah.
Because on the east coast or west coast, east coast,
it's on one of the coasts.
West coast of Japan. I mean, of America, they were worried about the Japanese attacking them, so their defenses were built up, to a phenomenal amount along that coastline. And one night, the whole fucking town of that area of Los Angeles witnessed this Battle of Los Angeles. I mean, I think it was something like 60,000 rounds were fired at a shaped disc in the sky. All you can see is the outline. There's a photo of all the spotlights on it and bullets going towards it.
Yeah.
And so many people witnessed that, and then the next day the government was just like, "Oh no, it was an air balloon or some shit like that." Yeah, you put 60,000 rounds into an air balloon. And it was still standing there. So,
if there was 60,000 rounds into an air balloon, that thing would be flat.
Yeah, there wouldn't be anything that fucking
pretty much. But yeah, that's the thing. They've got answers and stuff for everything. That's why I believe there's like the Men in Black, like the movies, that we have communications with them to kind of keep them concealed. That when something like this happens, we have measures in place to cover it up. To keep everyone quiet and saying that it's not, "Oh my god, we're going crazy, we've seen
predict
shit."
the program.
Yeah, it's just, they have things there.
Everybody's going on with the presumption that people's reaction is going to be utter anarchy.
Yeah.
It could be the complete opposite. It could be utter fucking rejoice. God damn it, at least we're not fucking, the world's not being run by these people anymore. Maybe these cunts can do a better job, dude.
Like, at the end of the day, like, at the end of the day, it could go, like, very badly if there are aliens here. They could just kill us all, essentially. Slavery, take over the world.
Nothing different from what we're doing to each other already. So.
Yeah, pretty much. But like you're talking about total anarchy, I think we're scared of the unknown as humans. When something new is around, we don't know how to react or to respond, so that's why we panic and get afraid.
Go to violence.
Yeah.
No, that also all depends on your state of mind and the way you've shaped your mind to think.
Like I keep going back to like the government controlling people. We're under that sort of control that when it comes to that, we've kind of got that sheep mentality. We see people running, so we're going to run with them. We're not going to run towards what they're running from, type of thing.
Yeah, okay, that might be just initial hardwiring from when you're born, natural instinct. But that can change with the state of mind, but this is straying off topic.
Well, not really. If there's an alien invasion, are you going to run at the aliens or are you going to run away from the aliens?
Because I was under the impression that we were shifting more towards psychology here than to conspiracy theories.
It kind of is on psychology, how we would react in that situation. But like, if there's a bunch of aliens, bro, are you going to run at them or are you going to run away from them?
I'll just sit down and spark a joint, bro. Maybe No, honestly, it's hard to tell what you would do in that situation until you're in that situation, because I can tell you what I think I would do, and if that situation had to arise, I would probably do something completely different. So, an irrelevant question.
Like, there's also it's called the Skinwalker Ranch. It's in the US as well. I'm not too sure where it is specifically, but like it's been a topic of paranormal activity and extraterrestrial activity, and it was pretty much built on top of a Native American
burial ground.
No, ritual site.
Ritual site.
and the Native Americans in the area warn people about going there. And what a skinwalker is in their, like in the Native American belief, is it's a witch. It's someone that can transform into an animal. It's pretty much a shapeshifter. But there's also all the talks of the extraterrestrials on the farm, that even people that have lived there have seen these things happening. And people that used to live there, like previous owners, have seen these things happen as well. And when the current, I don't know if they're still the current owners, but from my knowledge, the current ones, when they bought over the ranch and moved in there, they saw that the dogs were chained outside. There was like heavy locks on the doors because of what had been happening on that ranch. And people that own it, I think they lost like about 5 dogs to weird things happening on their ranch. That they would let their dogs loose when they got aggressive, and they would just never be found. And one night they heard their cattle, in distress, and they went there, and the one had like a big hole in the side of its head, and everything inside was gone. How do you explain that?
There's been a few cases like that with cattle mutilation where organs have been removed as if a fucking surgeon did it. They needed to remove an organ that was under another organ. Somehow they managed to remove that organ without damaging the organ that was in the way.
Yeah.
And I mean, that can't be done by just random animal attacks.
Well,
I mean, the cuts were also like precision cuts,
Yeah.
too clean to be done with the scalpel or anything. It looked more like laser cutting.
Well, this one specifically, there was an account that the farmer had that he had gone to check his cows just before they locked up for the night. And while he was walking away into the next field, they're 5 minutes apart, he heard the cow was in distress. Within that 5 minutes, he got back there and like 4 cows had been killed in that way. In 4 minutes. Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
There's just too much behind it that just, it's a what-if situation. We don't really comprehend it. And with all like these accounts and theories behind it, there's just too much to believe that it's technically impossible. That there's nothing else out there.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible.
Just aliens.
Yeah.
There's so many topics to go onto behind the conspiracy theories of aliens that it just kind of starts getting very stupid, and sometimes it just becomes very plausible that these things are actually happening.
Maybe they're living amongst us.
Yeah, you could be an alien right now.
No, but I mean, there is a theory that what we have seen that we consider UFOs, things that we can't explain, are actually us, just coming back from the future to study our past, so to speak.
Yeah, to fix what we screwed up.
No, because then they would have made themselves
well, we don't really know that.
We don't know any of this. It's conspiracy theories, bro.
Yeah. But I think it was like recently, talking about time travel, it was a couple of months ago, that there was a guy claiming that he was from the future.
And there's also one of those photos, it's just a random photo of a bunch of coal miners standing at a train station. And in the background, you can see a dude fucking standing there with sunglasses on, a t-shirt, and a fucking camera around his neck. A black and white photo of like the fucking 1800s.
Yeah, there's a lot of those accounts. Like there's another one of a guy standing, I don't know what it was, at a fair or something. Also with modern day sunglasses, a hoodie, t-shirt as well, just standing in a crowd, a bunch of people.
Yeah, that too.
That photo's been proven not to be photoshopped.
No, but these photos date from like the 1800s. There's no Photoshop back then.
But I'm saying if someone had to Photoshop it now just to be like, oh, look what I found, to get that attention.
But by the way, that is Random Citizen number 2 talking.
Hi.
Yes.
But yeah,
it is related to Random Citizen number 1, just by the way.
Yeah. We won't say in which way, but we'll just speculate that. Another conspiracy theory coming right up.
Oh, it's all about conspiracies today, right?
Yeah, like, there's so many things of like time travel, and that like the extraterrestrials are us. But there's also another theory coming down to, like you said, with the sudden boom of technology with us during the Area 51 like scandal. Like, it's the same with the humans in the past. Like, all of a sudden we had agriculture. We were making tools, just all of a sudden, it just randomly happened.
No, but that went from being a hunter-gatherer society into a society that is fixed in one place, and then after that, that is where agriculture comes in.
Yeah, but according to like history and the science and all that type of stuff, that it apparently just happened. All of a sudden, we had these ideas.
Yeah.
The theory comes in that we were visited by aliens back then, and we are kind of like alien hybrids. That they mated with our ancestors.
That actually
to create
could
us.
make sense, because if you look at it from when hunter-gatherer society stopped to when we actually started building, sort of semi-modern societies where we all live together as a group.
Yeah.
And with agriculture and everything like that. Since then, and the weapons, for example, that they developed at that time hadn't changed for thousands of years until a specific point now in the not too recent future where it changed dramatically. And I mean, one could argue that we were visited then, and then there was a very big space between when we were visited again, which is in Roswell in the 19 whatever the fuck year it was, and then there's another boom in technology after that.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Like, okay, so Neanderthals are believed to be like the love child of aliens and our ancestors. You know, they don't look the same as any other humanoid species from back then. That there's just a big difference in appearance and a big difference in, you know, the technology between the two. That all of a sudden we were able to farm, we were able to do everything, just out of nowhere. There's just a big technological boom that we have. All of a sudden we know these things. We're capable of doing all this type of stuff. That we're able to live in a society.
Okay, so from Neanderthals developing a society, a fixed society, which is something similar to what we would have today.
Yeah.
Right, there was that boom in technology, and then obviously with that came weapons. And then for a very long time throughout history, a period of a few thousand years, I'm not sure of the exact number, it sort of stayed similar. People were still fighting with swords, people were still fighting with, you know, medieval type weapons.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, closer to the 40s and 50s, we're moving on to nuclear power, automatic weapons, jet engines.
Yeah, just all of a sudden, another technological boom.
Boom, out of nowhere.
Yeah. That's a big thing that people have, it, that we're getting visited by these extraterrestrials that are just like leaving things for us to use.
But the thing is, you have like really, really intelligent people in the world who look at something and then they can come up with anything. You know, they can take a wire and then just make that. And so.
But also the with intelligent people, they're not born once every 2,000-3,000 years.
True.
Don't you think in that gap between the creation of society, basically, and where we are now, to the development of our weapons and the development of our society and economy?
But the thing is, there's so many people on Earth that...
No, but I'm saying, don't you think between that period there would have been one of those intelligent people that would have pushed advancement forward a bit earlier?
It was just like we would say in the 90s, bro, that it was like with TVs. All of a sudden there's flat screen TVs out of nowhere, and they just kept pumping out, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But like a day before that, we didn't have the technology possible for it. That is just constantly happening. Like in the next 10 years, is going to be all of a sudden another big technological boom that's just going to change the world again.
Or it could be in 100 years.
It could even be tomorrow, pretty much. It could be right now in the next 10 minutes. That's the thing that makes people suspicious. Like you're saying, there's so many intelligent people out there.
No, that's what she said.
Yeah, I'm going on to your topic.
Yeah.
Of that, you would think that with all these smart people out in the world, that there would be more booms in technology, that we would be a lot further on than what we currently are.
Yeah, it's just that few thousand year period between then and then, that why does nothing happen in that gap?
Yeah. There's a lot, you could go into it a lot. That, you know, it could be like they're developing it still. But like 1,000 years, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
You know,
the speed at which they developed.
Yeah, it does take too long, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's happening. But those are the people that come up with these technological booms aren't really around for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
You know, that it's like 1,000 years later, there's another person that does it. That, you know, it can't be every 1,000 years that someone does a big boom in technology that changes what we see. Same as like in the medical world, you know, that's just no conspiracy theory in itself. But like, you would think that there's obviously probably cures for all of the diseases. But like 100 years ago, you would think that we would have come up with a cure for most diseases if we're so intelligent.
I don't know, that is one of the most complex things to understand on the planet is the human being. I mean, I'm not talking about the human being as in your personality or whatever, but just the functions of a human body.
Yeah.
And I mean, what actually did change medicine into modern medicine was the discovery of penicillin. So there's nothing really dodgy or skeptical about that.
Well, you look now, all of a sudden, weed can cure cancer. Where, like,
is that certain?
Yeah,
we can cure cancer most of the time.
Yeah, well, that's with chemo. That's technically still killing the body. This is the alternative to where you still feel good, you're feeling fine. Where instead of killing your body, or there's still a chance that chemo could actually kill you. Sometimes people die from chemo and not from cancer. And obviously we still got like radiation and all that stuff, but that's still destroying the body more than what the actual cancer is doing. Now all of a sudden weed cures it. The World Health Organization has stated that it is a plausible option to use. Obviously it's not going to cure everybody. Everybody's body reacts differently to said medication. But it's like all of a sudden it's a hardcore drug, it's bad for you, and all of a sudden it's curing everything. Now you're telling me that, that's not a bit fishy. The medical world, like especially curing people, curing and,
Well, that's big pharma, bro. The pharmacy companies, dude.
Yeah, there's more money in treating
there are
people
so
than
many
curing them.
cheaper ways to treat people for diseases that they claim are untreatable. But do you think they will endorse it? Do you think they will enforce it? No, because it all comes down to money and the disgust that human beings are.
Okay, so we're going to jump on now to lizard people or reptilians. Okay, so this is pretty much just believing that there's a humanoid creature, to put it, that's a lizard person thing.
But what is the conspiracy? There are two different conspiracies involving reptilians.
Well, there's more than two. There's
royal
actually
families and people who run the world, and that there's an entire reptilian civilization living right underneath us.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of traction behind it, especially like in the old civilizations of carvings and statues and those sort of people that look like lizards. But like, it's just like you said, it's people of power. Especially the royal family.
Well, that is the conspiracy.
Yeah. Like Vladimir Putin has apparently seen Queen Elizabeth turn into a lizard before his eyes.
I'm pretty sure Vladimir Putin's seen a lot of things.
But yeah, that's like one of the things, that he was walking around and he looked through a door and there's the Queen Elizabeth turning into a fucking giant lizard person.
What were Queen Elizabeth and Vladimir Putin doing in the same fucking hotel?
No, it wasn't hotels. It was on his visits like they do to the UK. Like Trump just did and got a big backlash for being a douche. But anyway, we're not getting on to that. That's another topic for another day. But yeah, like, apparently people that are lizard people, they have green eyes, good eyesight and hearing. They have red hair, so pretty much gingers. They don't feel like they belong to the human race, which is pretty much an obvious.
Yet they're always in positions of power.
Yeah, well, the things we don't know that's...
Well, that's according to the conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, would you vote for someone that's a lizard person to be your president?
Over the president we have now, yes.
I mean, if they can do their job right, go for it.
Well, you look at, like, apparently...
lizard people.
Like you said, George W. Bush is apparently a lizard person.
Reptilian, so they say.
But, like, it's the same... Like, he didn't go too well, to be honest. There's a lot of backlash about him.
Who, George Bush?
Yeah.
He was the worst fucking president
exactly,
ever. He invaded an entire country for no reason besides he just felt like doing it.
Well, you see, that now you're telling me that you would rather have someone like that ruling our country.
Oh, George Bush, you can't. I hope you're listening.
I actually hope you're listening as well, bro. Give us those views, man. Give us those views. Share this shit to George W. Bush.
His daddy wasn't too bad, but he's just a fucker.
Yeah, so, like, apparently reptilians have the love of space and low blood pressure, which is a very weird.
Granny's got low blood pressure.
So,
oh my god, she's a lizard.
Is she ginger though?
Kind of.
No one actually knows.
I'm kind of ginger, so
Well, you have blue eyes.
No. Have you seen my other brother Fabian?
Yeah.
No, he's ginger.
Yeah, but like, it's apparently all gingers are aliens, freaking reptilians, and they have green eyes and low blood pressure. Those are very weird traits to specify an entire race.
Yeah.
So like gingers are apparently going extinct.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the gene is kind of...
Sun's getting hotter, you know.
It's not just
global warming and all that shit.
It's apparently like the gene you would find in the ginger is currently becoming very, very uncommon now.
Lizard-like now, apparently.
It's becoming more and more uncommon for a woman that's like having a baby for that child to actually be ginger. The gene is becoming very, very less. So if that is the case, then we don't have to worry about the lizard people because they're going extinct.
Yeah. That or they're just stealing the genes, like I said,
Yeah, well, I think that's all we can really discuss about lizard people.
No, wait, hold up. If they turn into a lizard, what if they don't have ginger hair?
No. Well, the concept
before they turn into a lizard.
The conspiracy is that they are always lizards.
Yeah, but
just
think about it.
maintain
I mean,
the
if someone is turning into a lizard, it means they're shedding their human form, basically.
Yeah.
So then they could have ginger hair under their blonde hair.
That's true.
I'll ask Fabian next time I see him.
But there's a lot of it's not just people in control that apparently are.
No, I know, that's what I said. The other two conspiracies is that, the royal family and people of power are reptilians, and that there is just an entire reptilian civilization living beneath us.
One of the things as well is apparently Mark Zuckerberg is also a lizard person because of how he looks.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, it's a very judgmental statement, but he is kind of weird.
No comment on Mark Zuckerberg, bro.
Going back to what you said about the lizard people ruling, like presidents, I mean, if it's a person, think about it, wouldn't they have different personalities, which means they would have different ways of ruling? So, I mean, lizard people as
not if it's all according... Let's just say, if you humor the conspiracy, that all these lizard people are in power, and they're obviously in power for a certain reason. They have an agenda, and I think that is a sufficient reply to your argument.
They all have one specific goal.
Yeah, so there wouldn't be independent
But what
agendas.
do they want to achieve? What does the conspiracy say that they
Same thing as all government wants to achieve is just control over a populace. That's about it.
But I mean, they've had the tool for control in front of them for fucking millennia. It's called religion. It's an opiate of the masses.
Well, there's many things that control people. That is one of them. There's a lot of things that people control. We are very, we always look for that thing that we feel safe with, and I think that's what a lot of these things are.
Well, yeah, safety and control, knowing that your decisions don't have to be made for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that you don't have to make your own decisions, that your decisions are made for you.
Well, that's what pretty much the government is.
The delusion of comfort.
Yeah.
As long as people feel safe.
I don't think we ever feel safe, to be honest. Especially in this country. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. So we're gonna leave the realm of lizard-like humans, and we are going to talk about the moon landing conspiracy. Now, just a little quick rundown on it is pretty much the moon landing is fake. That it was staged in a warehouse, a studio. Huh?
Sound studio.
Sound studio, yeah. That it was just
soundproof, yeah.
Yeah, it was just recorded.
Like CGI.
No.
Oh, okay.
This was before the times of CGI. This
Yeah,
was
practical.
1969. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they wanted to start staging the moon landings, would have started before 69.
Well,
So let's just say, to be safe,
the Nazis started trying to get to
the
space in the
decade of the
1940s.
60s.
Well, yeah. It's according to it that the official tests ran between 1969 and 1972. Those were the successful times that we got to the moon. And the moon landing in question right now is the one from 1969 with Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong.
The initial moon landing.
Yeah, the original, very first one. There's even photos of them in a training room that looks like the fake video, or the video that's going around. It looks exactly like the room that they trained in, and that it's just fake. That none of this really happened. Which, there's a lot of things you get into with this, but what is your opinion on it? Did we get to the moon, or
I
in this case?
I think we did in this specific case. Well, just as I said earlier, there were too many people involved, too many moving parts.
Well, it's the same as a movie. Look how many people work on that, and it's just
but that's
fiction.
not even. You can't even put those on the same scale as the amount of people that would have needed to work for NASA to undergo such a fucking conquest.
Yeah, holding the
I mean,
rockets.
no, that's nothing like making a movie. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You got to build platforms, and it's a lot of fucking work, and a lot of people in it, and a lot of moving parts. It's very unlikely that it could be faked, but it's not impossible.
And what is
As
your
I mentioned
opinion?
earlier, with the ego between the United States and the Soviet Union, that just because of the vanity of man himself could be reason enough to go through all of that to fake it.
Yeah, just to be like, oh, I did this before you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what the Cold War was.
Yeah.
Well, there was also like with the videos of the moon landings, it just gets more and more ridiculous. Especially I think it's the Japanese one that you spoke about.
Yeah.
That it
Fuck me, the Japanese went to the moon.
Yeah, they went.
Right. They probably think that's flat as well.
Well, where you coming with that? Apparently, the flat Earth was from an Asian guy in the 1600s.
Yeah.
That's where the Flat Earth Society originates from. But yeah, no, there's like the video of them that it just looks like absolute crap. It doesn't look real whatsoever. And the same goes for if you actually watch the moon landing when people saying it looks fake, you can actually see it now. That it does look a bit ridiculous. It doesn't actually look real.
It was recorded with the 1960s equipment.
Yeah, I was about to say, think about the camera
But
quality
it was
back
broadcast live on TVs back then from space. I mean, people couldn't even talk to each other in the room next to each other over a phone.
Yeah.
Now you can see a live stream of them landing on the moon.
Yeah,
That is also kind of...
Yeah, there's a lot of
Iffy.
fishy things about it. Like, Dylan said about getting camera equipment to the moon. That apparently radiation between here and through the Earth's atmosphere is too much for that
And
stuff to
Just
withstand.
getting people through.
And there were
Yeah.
also other things, like small things. If you look at the photos, I think in the visor of one of the other astronauts is looking at the person taking a photo
Yeah.
of him, and the lens is still on the shutter. So it's also things like that. And also the cameras that they used at that time apparently were very intricate in the way that you had to work them. And that wouldn't have been possible using the gauntlets that they needed for their spacesuits.
And like that, there's a lot of things. Okay, maybe the Earth landing happened, but like the videos we've seen is just them replicating it to what they remember.
They don't have the original footage anymore. It's gone.
There's a lot of things
The
that they
blueprints
don't
are
have
gone.
anymore for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
There's a
might have
whole
been
lot of things.
like you said, the live streaming. How did they do that? It could have been, it was a one-time thing that they could manage to get out so that they could show everyone, look.
No, but I mean, yeah, I don't know so much with live streaming, but I mean, we know for a fact that, okay, well, if they were in space, that radio, they could radio to each other. You know, that went through fine. There was a 4-second delay between the transmission leaving Earth and arriving at the spacecraft. And there was also one incident where they were recording NASA talking as if they were at the distance from the moon, because the distance from Earth to the moon, apparently radio waves take 4 minutes to travel that far.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they got a transmission, and then I think it was Neil Armstrong talking to NASA themselves, asked a question, and then you hear someone wait 4 seconds, but in the background you hear someone saying talk, as in that's 4 seconds, trying to imitate the delay.
Yeah.
You know, a third party that wasn't initially involved in the conversation between the spacecraft and NASA.
There's a lot of things that kind of prove that it is real, but then there's a lot more that proves that it's bullshit. I think in the recent years that we have managed to go there, but the technology at the time, I don't believe we had it then. I don't believe we were technology that far advanced in technology to do it. Because especially like we're talking about live streaming, like that video that's live streamed could have easily just been pre-recorded and just broadcast. You know, people will be like, "Oh wow, it's amazing," but you know, you look at it now and it's like, okay, there's a lot of crap here.
Yeah, and I mean, these people can't even swear on the Bible that they've been to the moon and they're Christians, so...
Yeah, they've been asked to take oaths to say that they've been there and they refuse to do it. That's the thing, you know, you're bringing up someone's pride into it, and it kind of just adds the fuel to the fire that it doesn't happen. You know, if you're actually like proud of going to this place, and I'd be like, okay, put your hand on the Bible and swear that you've been there, you're going to do it.
It's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, you'd be like, yes, okay, I've been there. But now, if it didn't happen, you're not proud of doing it.
Or you could feel, I mean, they could feel as if they don't need to prove anything to anybody.
Yeah, that is true.
Because if I did go to the moon and someone told me I didn't, I'd just say, well, fuck you, buddy. I don't really care what you believe.
Yeah, it is the thing that it does come down to the person.
Yeah.
It is personal preference, I suppose, on how you would handle that situation. But like you said, they don't really need to prove anything type of thing.
But that's why if that's what I'm saying, if someone did ask me, say, put my hand on the Bible, I don't need to prove anything to you.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what's the point? The footage is out there.
But I think it more comes down to the thing of wanting them to solidify that they've been there. To actually say, yes, that I've been here with that.
So
like,
basically
extra,
to give the public what they want.
Yes.
Fuck the public.
But see, that just comes back down to governments and control. That's what it is. That's how it is. And by giving that kind of, like you said, that sense of comfort and safety that it has actually happened.
That our government's not lying to us.
Yeah, that's what people want. People want that safety and comfort, which is why people want these guys to prove that they've been there. Just like swear on the Bible, swear on their life that they've done it, which they refuse to do. Which you would think, if there wasn't, if you think there wasn't any risk to it, you would do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't truly know. I don't think we will ever truly know. Like this thing with Elon Musk trying to get to Mars. He was meant to launch last year November. He's like, yeah, we're prepared and we're ready to go. Didn't happen. And now they were planning on going on in June again. Didn't happen.
That has to do with technology if there's faults in the system.
Yeah, but there's the thing is is there a bigger picture there? That they can't actually get to space still. That, you got such, it's one of the biggest tech giants in the world. Elon Musk's company.
No, but if
Tesla
starting this venture, he knew that the outcome would be that he's not going to space, I highly doubt that he would waste all his resources and money on trying to do it.
I don't think he's doing that thing of that he, from the start, that he knew he wouldn't go there. I think it might have gotten to the point where
he realized he couldn't go.
That he's gone through all of this planning and all of that stuff to get to the current point that he's in where he thinks he can do it, but in actual fact, it can't. It's impossible.
It works in theory, not in practice.
Exactly.
Just like communism.
Yeah, true. But that's the thing of it. If it was capable of doing it in the 1960s, why can't we do it in 2018? If it took them 5-10 years or something to get ready to go to the moon, and now this has been going on for...
And the excuse is that they don't have the blueprints to build that. They don't have the technology to build that.
I just think they don't have enough astronauts that have balls big enough to do it again.
Yeah.
If someone came to you to go to the moon, would you do it?
Fuck no.
Exactly.
I would, hell yeah.
Why? For what?
Yeah.
Why not? It's cool.
There's a Nazi moon base up there.
That's fine, I can be a Nazi on the moon, bruh.
There's Nazi moon base,
Come back to Earth and be like, I was a Nazi on the moon.
They need alcohol on the moon, bro.
Exactly, you need alcohol anyway.
That's the thing, with the Nazis, they tried to get to the moon in the 40s. And then America and everywhere else only managed to do it in the 60s. And now that we can't even do it in 2018 anymore, just kind of adds fuel to the fire that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, but who says we can't do it?
NASA themselves.
Yeah.
No,
NASA just scrapped the program because they didn't see a point in doing it anymore.
Yeah, no.
Well,
I don't know, that's just what I heard.
What he's saying is NASA has said that they don't have the blueprints to actually do something like that.
They don't have the tech to go there.
So how did they do it in the 60s if themselves are saying that they couldn't have done it?
They're saying they don't have the tech to go to the moon now.
Yeah, and also they can't get through the radiation of Earth's, it's called the Van Allen belt.
Wait, but that could come back to global warming.
Yeah, but that could, that could have changed over the decades.
Remember back then it was
Were they talking specifically to that time? That back then we didn't have the technology to actually do it either.
But if we had the technology that we have now, if we go back there, the radiation levels might have been lower, which would have allowed us to go to the moon. Nowadays, everything is so, global warming has destroyed basically everything. The radiation levels are really, really high, so that might be preventing us. We don't have the
but in modern day, we have a better understanding on radioactivity and all that type of stuff because of nuclear energy. We understand radioactivity now.
But we don't have.
So even in the 60s and that stuff, we had an understanding of nuclear.
No, we
energy.
Understood radiation long before the nuclear bomb. I can't remember that woman's name, but she actually discovered radiation. She died 3 years later from it, but she discovered it.
Yeah, I know her name as well. Ah, shit.
Yeah, I can't remember now either.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, we have an understanding of radiation, so why can't we do it? If we understand how radioactivity works, then
it just could be the levels of radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the levels. See, radiation changes. Where's that place in Japan? What's that place where they bombed and
Fukushima.
Hiroshima.
Yes, Fukushima.
There's three.
Yes.
There's Hiroshima, there's Nagasaki, and then there's Fukushima.
Yeah, Fukushima, that's what I'm talking about.
Fukushima, the Japanese government is actually advertising that it is safe to go there.
Yes, but
And
someone went on a tour there and they said that the safe levels were 0.2.
Yeah.
When they were going through the town,
it
the
was up
levels
to
were
like
7.8, yeah, stuff like that.
I think it's the same one that
Yeah,
I
it's-
watched,
yes.
that dog tourist.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But see, it's the prevention, like the suits that people use in nuclear power plants. It might not be stable enough. Like, for example, an astronaut suit is used to
Pressurize.
for that. It's
But it's
different.
apparently also it's
lead lined.
Yeah, that it can,
Radiation.
Yeah.
They might not be able to put enough lead in the suit though to prevent the radiation levels that we have around the atmosphere now, because it's so hectic, and lead is heavy, right? So if you put too much of that in a suit, it's going to weigh the person down. It's going to be difficult to walk.
But you're in
it.
space.
There's
It's
no
zero
gravity.
gravity.
True, but the thing is getting onto the ship
There's
while
a
you're
crane.
still on Earth.
There's a lot of things that, like a
There's
lift,
a
a crane,
Are you serious?
forklifts.
Yeah.
You could get anyone onto anything in the modern day.
Fair enough.
What are you going on about radioactivity was Marie Curie you talking about with radioactivity.
Yes,
She's-
Marie Curie.
But
yes,
apparently she's not the one that actually discovered it. It is Henry. I can't even pronounce his surname, but yeah, that guy.
Okay,
A guy named
so what
Henry.
is she then?
She was the first woman
Oh,
to receive a Nobel Prize on her work on
radiation. Okay, yes. Then I was
But
mistaken.
radioactivity was discovered in 1911 by Henry. What's his name? Yeah.
Yeah, that Henry guy, we'll just call him Henry.
Yeah. We're going to try to pronounce his surname. But yeah, like how you're saying that it's too heavy to get onto a spaceship. Modern day eras, we can transport like 10-ton trucks, 11-ton trucks.
But also,
Things that weigh too much, we can
I'm not sure
transport.
I'm speaking purely from out of my own head here. There's no fact involved in this whatsoever. But I'm pretty sure those suits that they use when they leave their spacecrafts, they don't actually put them on when they're entering the spacecraft. Because those suits are usually attached to the outside of the craft and
Yeah.
they have to step into it and then
Yeah.
get zipped in from the back.
But wouldn't the weight affect the fuel amount? Because we're running.
Yeah, but
low
all of those
resources.
things would be taken into consideration when planning it.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm saying that's maybe why they haven't gone up there, because they realize, okay, we don't have enough fuel for this because it's too heavy a load, you know?
I honestly just think they don't do it anymore because it's too fucking expensive.
Yeah, well, they still get a
Two
couple of
resources.
$1 billion every year to
Funding,
fund,
but it's
fund what?
been
What are they
cut
funding?
dramatically since
Yeah, I know,
the
but-
glory days of.
But what are they funding?
JFK
What
and
are
all
they
that
researching? You know, Trump's got his defense now of aliens, whatever.
Oh God, Trump! Don't even get me started on Trump.
What is it called? It's the space defense or some shit like that.
Yeah,
That he's
fuck.
literally making a special force to defend us from extraterrestrials.
Because he was
Nice.
abducted once, dude. That's why his face is so orange. All this test.
Okay, so Random Citizen number 1 is going to be leaving the podcast now, and we're just going to be continuing with me, Dylan Copy, and Random Citizen number 2 with some more. What are we doing? Conspiracy theories, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cheers, guys. I'm gonna leave.
So yeah, so the moon landing. Let's continue with that stuff. You've apparently got a lot of things to say about it, Dylan Copy.
I do. There's a lot of things that people say about this moon landing that just don't really make much sense. Like the astronauts will say they saw stars, and some of them will say they haven't. And
Also, they didn't see the sun, the big ass star right in front of them.
yeah, no, it's just complete blackness. They were.
That really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's a bit dodgy. That's really fucked up. That's really weird, man. All of a sudden, oh, we don't see stars now, even though there's a big ass one right in front of you. So what does that say about the state that we live in? Is it all just a lie, like the flat Earth people say? Well, literally, it's just becoming more and more like rational, I suppose. Then, if that's the case, if we don't see those things, if those things aren't really there,
Yeah.
then what? Are we just living on a flat piece of rock?
Probably, yeah.
propelling upwards.
Yeah, to where? Where are we going? What is the point of us propelling upwards?
Heaven, Trent, heaven.
Wouldn't we move in a different
going towards
direction
heaven.
at some point then?
What
goes up must come down.
Going to hell? But it
Well, then we
seems
wouldn't
like we're
stay
going
on the
up.
ground.
No, but I mean, like, the whole planet is flipped.
Well, it's not a planet then if it's flat, it's just a rock.
Okay, then the rock is flipped. The bottom is this way, the top is like there, and then we're standing, and then we're just going downwards to hell.
Then we wouldn't be
bit by bit.
still standing, we'd be smushed.
Smooshed.
It would be too much velocity.
Not necessarily.
Well, if you
We're
throw
going
something up, it
really
comes
slow.
down faster. Exactly. That is scientific.
Yeah.
That is science.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we're making too big of a thing over something really stupid
Yeah,
that really
Jesus,
has no
we know.
relevance. It's pretty much everything in this podcast really has no relevance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun to talk about and make fun of, I suppose.
Okay, and then there's also the fact that obviously what they're around on the moon is like things that resemble props. Like a lot of the rocks are marked C. So these kind of things you do in film when you want to mark where things are positioned.
Yes, Dylan Prokop, he's a filmmaker, by the way.
No, terrible. Shadows don't really line up.
Well,
Flags fucking waving. And
Oh.
it looks like they're attached to harnesses when they're jumping around. Looks ridiculous.
But would they really be so stupid to have the flag waving?
Well,
like, if people were going to be like,
It was the 60s.
Aha.
But the fact of the matter, we don't know how things work on the moon. Because
Yeah,
the
we
moon
don't
does
know
have some
exact-
sort of atmosphere.
yeah.
So there could be wind on the moon.
Exactly.
But then there couldn't be wind on the moon. We don't really know because there's apparently an atmosphere on the moon. Not a very good one, but there's one there.
And one makes a huge difference. I mean.
Yeah,
Some people say it was by the movement of the pole that it waves, but it clearly waves without that happening. Like it's after the pole's been.
And they had suits on, so they couldn't exactly feel if there was a slight breeze, you know?
Yeah, it's weird. It's
It's too complicated, man.
it's not complicated. It's just stupid. Like, why would we make such a big thing about it? Develop a whole conspiracy theory about going to a big rock in the sky.
Well, because, I mean, people want to go to space. If you can't go to space, and let's say
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
an aspiring
there's enough things
astronaut,
we're ever gonna
but you
get
can't
to do.
actually go to the moon,
Dude, if you can't go to
it's going to
space,
really mess
then
up your dreams.
if you can't go to space, then make a plan to go to space. Help make the technological advancements and are necessary to go there. You know, oh, I want to go to space. Oh, I can't go to space. Okay, I'll be a receptionist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're following your dreams. You're really
Nice.
helping. No, this is a fact. If you're going to aspire to be something, and then like there's a fucking hurdle in the way, you're just going to stand still and be like, oh well, this is not worth my time, and just go do something else that's more convenient. That's pretty much all the people that have come up with all these theories.
Yeah.
They've had way too much time on their hands. We've had way too much time on our hands right now talking about this.
Yeah, just giving them the
No, but it's,
play they want.
yeah, you know, we've offended. Well, we haven't. Random citizen number one has offended a lot of people.
Citizen number 2 is okay for now.
Random citizen is just number two is just here, pretty much,
Yeah, I'm just here.
giving her 2 cents comments,
Yep.
and then yeah, but that's pretty much what this is.
Yeah. Basically.
But there's so many more other conspiracy theories we can touch on, but we're going to do that in another episode.
Yeah.
But these are the ones that we found kind of amusing, I would say, especially the flat Earth theory,
Yeah.
which I could still just keep going on and on about. You know, just
It's growing so big, it's going to be scary.
it's
Yeah,
it's
we're
scary,
outnumbered
but
by
like
people that believe this.
in 2016, there were only 200 people that believed in it.
Or that we're a part of this flat Earth society, yeah.
Yeah, and to what it is now, we
Yeah,
don't
it's
really
probably
know.
grown a lot more.
What, to like 206?
Flat Earth Bible.
I wouldn't be surprised if that exists too. Don't give them
There's
ideas.
a Flat Earth God now.
Don't give them ideas, man.
I'm promoting
If-
the cause.
If that shit happens to every flat earther there, I want my royalties. Okay.
Your
You're taking
royalties.
them.
I
They're
want
mine. This is my show. You're a random citizen.
Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that is the thing. Is like there's so many other stupid shit that you could add to it. Like random citizen just did.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
And then suddenly it's...
it's this big thing. Like what the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Oh god.
That was just a meme that just became. It's a meme that followed its dreams. But let's not get onto memes now. Memes will be. We will do an episode on memes. We'll do a podcast on memes. Yes. Like, how did memes originate? We'll discuss those
Promise, now you
things.
have to do it.
It'll definitely happen. But yeah, no, this This podcast got weird at
Yeah.
points.
You know how much it costs to go to the moon?
No, how much?
$30 billion.
Good God.
Well, I guess I need to start saving
I would
money.
have spent that money a lot better than that.
Yeah. Well, there was the what?
It's the moon, though.
What was those Pornhub? They tried to shoot the first porno in space.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, they started a GoFundMe and they didn't make like what they wanted, which I find pretty funny.
Yeah.
Who would want to watch people having sex in zero gravity? That
Imagine
would
how
just be weird.
beautiful it would be.
beautiful.
Trying to go forward and you can't go forward.
Right, that I don't get how that would
That
work.
would be more of a comedy than anything else.
All porn's comedy. No one can act anymore. Why are we talking about porn? It's got weird.
I know. This whole podcast has gone downhill so quickly.
It hasn't gone downhill. We're only an hour into it.
Neil Armstrong is just a normal person.
Really? Neil Armstrong was a normal human being.
Why?
What?
Yes.
He was normal?
He was a civilian too.
He was,
He was a
did you
civilian.
hear that, random citizen?
He was just a civilian. That went
He
to
was just
space.
like you.
My
It's
dreams.
so
I can
stupid.
follow my dreams.
Did you guys know that? Everyone listening to this. Neil Armstrong was a
Neil
normal
Armstrong
person.
converted to Islam on the moon. What the fuck?
Okay. He converted to Islam. You know what? Honestly, let him believe what he wants to believe. That's what he wants. That's why he won't swear on the Bible.
Yes. Ah.
There we go. We just.
But I don't know if it was him that said he went. I think it was Buzz Aldrin because he punched the guy.
Buzz Aldrin's crazy though.
Yeah, he
But
fucking lost.
he lost his mind in space.
Mm.
That's what happens when you go to space. You lose your mind. You leave it there.
Nice.
Society just.
That's why people can't go to space anymore. That's why they don't go to Mars, bro.
We haven't been to
You
Mars
come
yet,
back-
so how do you know those are the same effects?
Because you won't come back with any limbs.
What?
Turns out
Elaborate.
there's actually lizard people on Mars and they just like steal your limbs before you leave.
No, bro.
One day,
Oh.
these conspiracies will all become true. Watch.
I wouldn't be surprised to be perfectly honest. Dude.
Make
This is
you
like
jokes
now.
about
We
this
all
shit.
end up going completely crazy, living in our own little realities, and all the shit that we've been talking about just happens.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
everything we think is
surprised.
complete bullshit.
Everything just goes wrong.
There's a conspiracy theory in itself, the Matrix.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Whoever's playing with us fucking just add this shit in whenever they want.
Yeah, and this is why we're doing that. We're doing this against our will. It's the Matrix that's
We
making
are the
us do
Matrix.
this. This is the Matrix, man.
Yes, bro.
Want
No.
us to make fool of ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. We're being
They've
big
just
fools
drugged us
ourselves.
so we don't know we're actors.
Yeah, no, I can't act for shit, so don't bring that
no,
here.
that's not
No, I'm not an actor. But this, like, honestly, what is your standpoint on the moon landing?
I think we've been, but I think what we're showing is not it. I don't think it's it.
And
It
you,
doesn't look
random
right.
citizen?
I think we've been, and there's just things that they didn't like feel. Like the wind, like I said, you wouldn't feel if it was a slight breeze. I think they've been.
And do you know what my opinion is?
What?
I really don't care. Honestly, if we've been, we've been. If we haven't, we haven't. If we haven't, then there's just more possibility of growth for it to
I mean,
happen.
you're not wrong, yeah.
Yeah, but you're not gonna brag about going to the moon now.
Yeah, no. If I end up going to the moon, I'm gonna brag about it to everybody.
Yeah, I would.
You know, I would tell
Promise
everybody
status.
I've been to the moon. I've walked on that big giant stone in the sky.
Stone.
Well, it's a rock. It's a meteor that got stuck in our atmosphere. Because it's just that stupid. Just like the Flat Earth Society. No, it's just stupid.
Or
It's
killed
just,
one of the two.
No, I don't think that will happen. Don't give them ideas. I'm editing that out. No, there's too much shit surrounding the moon landing. Like Random Citizen #1 said before he left, there were too many people involved in the moon landing. You know, to go through all that effort and all that money just to fake something,
Yeah.
I find
For pride
really
is-
stupid. Well,
people
no,
aren't
people
that-
do stupid
yeah.
stuff for pride.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pride
Like,
is
vanity is like just everything basically.
No, it's a thing. Is just too much effort to do all of that stuff.
It is, but the thing is, there's been like, I know there was a movie that came out quite recently about people that attempted to fake the moon landing.
No,
Yeah, I don't know what the movie's called. I'll
I'm not
look it up
sure.
now.
well, it's the same as like
And
while we're on the
looks
topic
fucking
of the
good,
moon. Like apparently there's a Nazi moon base on the dark side of the moon. That's why we never see the other side of the moon. Apparently, because
Which
there's a
side
Nazi
was
moon
from?
base on there.
It's 2D. Which side?
She's converted to a flat earth. No, but like that's what they say on the dark side of the moon. That's where the Nazis escaped to in 19 whatever.
Yeah.
They did their first test in 1945
yeah.
to get a spaceship up there, and apparently that test got them to the moon, and then they set up a base there. But it's just...
But why? That's the question. Why?
Because they're the Nazis. They did weird shit.
Fair enough.
They wanted to do stuff that... Yeah.
They were superior. Okay.
They wanted to be superior.
Operation Avalon. That's what the movie's called.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
But apparently with
Give it a watch.
this Nazi moon base, that they monitoring us and all that shit from up there. What, it's Iron Sky, the project is called.
Yeah, but if they don't have the technology to monitor us with, how are they doing it?
They're Nazis.
Fair enough.
The technology they had was insane for the time that they were around.
Fair enough.
See, the thing is, with the Nazis, they were some of the most intelligent people around in that time. So they made big technological advancements during that
And
time.
because there were so many of them, they had the people to do that kind of shit.
The Nazis were just assholes, pretty much. They had two big egos.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. They were, like I said, they're some of the most intelligent people that came out. Even NASA was created by Nazis, essentially. People that went
Nazis
to America.
the moon.
Yeah. They wanted to go visit their moon base. But
We'll set it up, you know.
yeah, they set it up again.
Bring them some cake and cookies, make them feel welcome.
Cake and cookies.
Yeah, cake and cookies. Best combination.
Aren't they technically the same thing? No. Just stay on topic here. Nazis. Cakes, cookies, and Nazis. But it's just like, I don't get it. I don't know how people come up with these things. That's my thing about it.
Boredom, man.
Who just sits there and thinks, oh, there's Nazis on the moon. They're just watching us. They're just chilling
There's
there.
Nazis on the moon.
Yeah.
They look through their
Does it?
telescope and like seeing something looking back at
And
them.
see some guy standing on there waving at them, bro.
Nazis!
Oh, it's stupid.
That's beautiful.
This whole podcast has been a roller coaster, man. Flat earthers, lizard people,
Nazis
fucking
on the
moon landing, Nazis now. There was some other topic that I've forgotten about already, but we've been on a roller coaster.
Yes, we have.
And I think this roller coaster does need to end.
Yeah. For the guys.
For everyone listening. We are sorry for this.
We deeply apologize.
Yes. So with that, we are going to say goodbye until the next episode. So thank you for tuning in and listening to us ramble on about conspiracy theories. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Cheerio.
Bye.